Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another cast with Trend Following Tyson, and let's put the market in perspective. All right, so it's July. We're more than halfway through the year. All right, I feel really good about the trends we've been following. So let's take a look at the stocks that we should have been sitting in and that are still in a trend. And the stocks that are still in a trend, we make sure that we should be in them, right? If they're in the trend and they're going from 0 to 100, we make sure that we're long, right? And we've been long for some time. So let's just update and see what's still moving, and let's see where we should be sitting at, all right? Without these things getting away from us. And we've been sitting in some pretty nice places so far this year. So let's take up a quote from none other than one of the best ever to do any trend following. You should always listen to what Ed Psychota has to say. Charting is a little like surfing. You don't have to know a lot about the physics of the tides, resonance, and fluid dynamics in order to catch a good wave. You just have to be able to sense when it's happening and then have to drive to act at the right time. Just like surfers, they don't know the exact chemistry and the exact fluid dynamics and tide physics of the tides of the wave, but they know how to ride waves very well. So we don't need to know about earnings. We don't need to know about any of the personal stuff, that different ways of trading. Personally, we just need to know how to follow trends. We need to sense that trends in an actual uptrend, and it's that simple, and we go long from there. All right, so let's take up something else from Nicholas Darvis. All right. And then we'll get back to business. Well, I have a quote. I had a quote up here from Darvis ready. All right. Take up something from Darvis and then we'll get into it. So Nicholas Darvis, if you guys know, made that one book, How I Made It $2 Million in the Stock Market or something like that. Pretty good book, and was one of the things that kind of drew me into trend following, was just that the approach of the trend following trade made more sense to me, and it was easier for me, and it was more logical, and it was just easier for me to do and for me to understand. All right, first check whether the market as a whole is rising or falling. In other words, are you in a bull market or a bear market? If the latter, stay out. The odds are against you. We're not in a bull market. We're actually riding some pretty good. We're not in a bear's market. We're not in the latter, should I say. We're actually in a very good bulls market. Most of the stocks that we're in, okay? Does this look bullish to you? Yes, that's a bulls market. All right, so taking up some stuff from great trend followers, Nicholas Darvis, Ed Psychota. So we don't need to know the figures. We don't need to know all the fundamentals and everything about a stock. We just need to know that it's in an uptrend, and we need to get long, all right? We need to be the best get long traders we can be, the best surfers we can be. And we also took up something from Nicholas Darvis that's just showing us, if the market over a whole is rising, is this market over a whole rising? Is this market over a whole rising? If you've seen it going from $8 to 60 something dollars, of course the market over a whole is rising. All right, so take up stuff from good trend followers that kind of soften this up, clear it up for us, make sure that we're doing the right things, sitting in the right places, and boom, here we go. We're off to the races. So here we are in July. TNDM, of course, we're actually in a really nice uptrend here. Just not going to clear space when you wanted to, but nevertheless, we're in an uptrend. So of course we're long TNDM. We're still sitting there. Okay. AQUA looking like a good place that some people should be sitting in, or I would be sitting in. I like it as we've been watching it sometime, and look as we correct ourselves over these levels here, over 13 and over 14. Okay, so really good stuff looking on that AQUA. All right, and you guys know, if we're looking at something, guys, it's not gonna just be for no reason. Okay, just let me show you ADVM. I have about 4 or 5 A tickers. Just let me show ADVM. So remember, this thing was incredibly bullish. We were watching it way since it was at this point, correcting through this area. Here we are. We're doubling in price now. ADVM looking pretty good. I like it for longs. Let's stop ourselves out below this area here, okay? Around 11.55. ADVM. Let's go to BRFS, this Brazilian meats thing. I've been telling you guys about this thing for months on end, and months and months and months. All right. Here's BRFS. Finally correcting itself through this thing. And when the week was in the week, when we were in the trading week last week or week before, whatever time that was, We were getting ready, approaching this area, and I said, finally, we're breaking out of this area here. So new 52s on BRFS, and we've been watching that for some time. And as you can see how good it looks, was the reason that we were even considering longs on it in the first place. All right, so here it is, curling off this bottom space with a lot of room to go up here. BRFS looking halfway decent. All right. APPS, of course, we're long here, and we've been long for some time. You guys know all about this thing. I don't have any trade ideas up right now, but you guys know we were correct watching this thing. Let's go back. That's the 5. That's the reason that made us get into it, that whole curling thing. Remember, we had this whole thing drew up here about what APPS get over this level here. And, you know, anyone go back on my Twitter and check. And, of course, we got through this level. And you could basically, how do I say this? You could basically, I can't take it off now. You could have basically taken this part of the chart off without this half being here, and we were already long, but we were questioning would this thing continue, and we've almost doubled since then. All right, APPS, good trend following there. Remember what I said when we started the show. I said we're going to look at places that we've been long and that are places that we should still be long at, okay, and places that are still in an uptrend. So of course, you guys remember me showing you KPTI, and it just hurt me so bad that this thing had started running, and I was kind of just twiddling my thumbs around. Actually, I wasn't twiddling my thumbs. I had other longs and other positions working. So remember, we were watching KPTI to get over this level at 650, and just absolutely just shows what we're doing here with trend following. I mean, this is just ridiculous. All right, KPTI looking good there. Let's see if it keeps going, finds a ground, and then that thing could remember all the stocks that we've saw when they start doing this breakout thing, and we say, when they break out and they look crazy like that, really, wow, that's probably when they start finding a rebound inside that price. It's probably a good time to start sitting inside those longs, because those things start taking off and they're hard to catch up to, okay? AVP, Avon Products, remember this thing? We're wondering if it would ever get through this level here, and we absolutely got through this level. Go ahead and check the last show and ask if we were questioning this breakout on AVP, and we've totally nailed this thing, totally trend following. If you want to get inside this thing, like I told you guys, my favorite signal for me to get inside of a trend is a breakout. So when we broke out of this, I would have bought this long. I would have had a buy order limit, a buy stop limit order at 345, saying that when we correct over this area, get me long automatically, and boom, there goes Avon Products. And this thing, you guys, has for some time been struggling in this little price range here, just little right here. This is just right here. All right, so now we're finally getting to some higher prices, getting over these blocks. Prices obviously reversing, as you see red blocks dropping here, downsizing and dropping here, concluding. Now you see green blocks coming up, reversing price. Green blocks in place of these red blocks. So price obviously reversing there. There's no hocus pocus. All right, we don't like to question price. We just like to get long when we should be. Let's take a look at Snap. Something else I told you guys that I liked it long if price showed it would rebound, and that was around this area here. We were talking about buying up Snap. Okay, so here's Snap. Totally kind of proved us right, that when it showed us a trend and a place to go, when prices started to round here, we said we should get long, and I like that thing for the future. All right, stop yourself out. And if you got long on this thing when you were supposed to, around $12 going in over this space, then sit long, stop yourself out under 14. There may be an issue there. Keep your profits. All right, Snap looking good. Take a look at ELP. Whoa, buddy, what happened there? Take a look at ELP. All right, another good place people should be sitting at. Just kind of really consistent uptrend here. We don't like to really make our process really difficult. It's really simple. We see prices in an uptrend, kind of, and there's always a pattern. All right, higher highs and lower lows, higher lows. We see these higher highs and lows coming in. We just kind of get long at the lows with a stop there, okay? Get this profit going, and then wait for this thing to keep correcting itself and keep trending up. So all of these buy points are down here, in my opinion, at these pullbacks, because we know pullbacks in this particular uptrend. Remember what we heard from Bruce Kovner. Every uptrend has its own particular characteristics, okay? We have to follow the characteristics of each particular uptrend. So these characteristics are obviously pullbacks into the upside, so we challenge these pullbacks, and we say, we're going to challenge the market to knock us out of here, and we're going to go with what's been going on, and we get more upside. ELP, I like that thing long. Go ahead and stop yourself out under 12. EVRI, and we're going to look at Flex, man. Flex looking really good. KPTI, we caught that whole thing on KPTI. Let's take a look at Flex, and then we'll jump over EVR and look at Flex, all right? Look at EVR. We've been watching this thing all year long, all right? Just beast mode, all right? EVRI looking really good. I like this thing for a long. Stop yourself out under 11. Let's see what happens in this space here. I think we get over this and start trading for higher highs, okay? EVRI. That's that gaming thing, kind of like Zynga. All right, so let's see why we like it. Here we are correcting over 5-year space and obviously in an uptrend over there, EVRI. Take a look at Flex. And you guys know the S&P at all-time highs, which obviously means stocks are incredibly bullish and we shouldn't be questioning them. We should be getting long where we should be long at. All right, so Flex obviously reversing price and we're in an uptrend in my opinion. I think we start challenging some of these higher prices up here, Flex. Okay, here we are, and obviously, you know, reversing price here from this downtrend. Boom, downtrend, and boom, here we are correcting it. This thing right here is showing you that we're obviously reversing price. This particular structure here telling you that this is an uptrend and we're reversing price levels back to the upside. So I like Flex. It looks pretty decent. Okay, stop yourself out below 9. GLDD. Let's see what gold's doing. That's right along with AU and some of those other stocks, okay? AU, African, I think that's African Gold, Anglo or something like that. We'll take a look at it. Oh, at $17. We were looking at that thing, trading that thing back at $11, man. That thing's beast mode. GLDD, all right? Looking pretty good here. Just looks pretty decent. Clear uptrend here. Clear uptrend. We wait for this thing to pull back, see what happens, but obviously we're going to start keep correcting ourselves and up to the upside. So GLDD looking really good there. I think that's some outdoor equipment or some stuff like that. Sorry, that's not gold. GLD would be gold. And matter of fact, let's just take a look at gold. Let's just take a look at gold, okay? All right. Just take a look at gold real fast. All right, we're in a clear uptrend in gold. All right, here we are in gold, clear uptrend. All right, I like this thing to just keep moving to the upside. All right, and remember I told you guys I would show you something else out of that gold space looking really productive, which is this AU here. Remember, look at that, guys. $17, almost an $18 stock now. Remember, this stock was we were trading this thing back at 11, back at $8, $9. All right, this is how good this thing looked to us, which is why we were trading it in the first place. All right, we just look at charting. We're just surfers, man. We're just surfers. We were an obvious uptrend, and we traded that thing all the way up here, and we got kind of iffy back in this area here, all the way through February and all this time, and now we've corrected ourselves, bang, through this area, and now the heat is on. All right, so AU looking good. That's Anglo Gold, Ashanti. All right, so RUBI, let's take a look at RUBI, and then we'll get ready to get out of here. All right. This is ridiculous, guys. We were trading this thing back at $3 and $4, and here we are. This thing's still trading up in this higher space. All right, so let's see what happens here with RUBI. All right, kind of having trouble staying up, getting long, getting going, but we've moved all the way through this area. Let's see if we ever can trade up through 7. You could just set a buy stop limit order at 734 to get you going outside of that thing. Okay. All right, let's look at pays. I had some guys on Twitter asking me about QD. QD is a really good Chinese, really good stuff coming out of that China space. Okay, I like QD for longs and continuation to just kind of basically correct itself all the way through that space. Here goes PAYS, obviously in the clear uptrend. Do not, when you see these things like this was my clue to get long. Correcting out of this area. And a million times I told you guys, what did I say? When a stock's gonna break out of a certain area, see, we look left to see where we can go, where the chart possibly can go. When we look to the left of this and the stock broke out, remember I told you guys, giant candles when we break out of breakout areas. All right, guys, so I'll see you guys next week. And happy trend following. Okay, we're just looking at places that have been working that are still working. If you see a stock like this, right, and we were long, and you say, okay, this thing was working back here, and you look up here halfway through the year and it's still working, just let it continue to work. That's a lot of good easy trading days for you, days that you're making money, days that you're sitting in stocks and they're doubling and quadrupling themselves, and you're not doing a darn thing but just sitting back and watching trends trade to the upside. So happy trend following, guys.